It was early September in 1964, and the air was crisp with the scent of autumn. Gerald Chenard, an experienced hunter, found himself trekking down a small dirt road 35 miles south of Fairbanks, Alaska. The road, a quiet offshoot of the Richardson Highway, led to an old, forgotten camp nestled beside a small pond. Dense pine and birch trees hemmed in the path, their stunted growth a reminder of the harsh Alaskan climate. Armed with a rifle and handgun, Gerald's senses were attuned to the wilderness as he hunted for rabbits. The rhythmic crunch of his boots against the dirt and the occasional rustle of leaves were the only sounds breaking the profound silence of the forest. As he rounded a gentle curve in the road, his steps faltered. Just 30 feet ahead, a figure emerged from the trees. Gerald froze. Standing at least 6 feet tall, it was covered in shaggy, dark brown hair. For a moment, the two simply stared at one another. The creature, silent yet imposing, let out a low, guttural grunt. Then, as if uninterested in confrontation, it turned and disappeared into the woods with a quietness that seemed unnatural for its size. Despite the weapon slung over his shoulder, Gerald didn't feel threatened. He felt watched. His instincts, however, told him it was time to leave. Turning back the way he came, he began a cautious retreat toward his car. Every few steps, he glanced over his shoulder. The forest, once serene, now felt alive with sounds he couldn't ignore. The snapping of branches followed him from the direction the creature had gone. Then came the sounds, low, resonant tones that rose into higher pitches, echoing through the trees. Gerald's pulse quickened. From the other side of the road, another call answered. There wasn't just one. Quickening his pace, Gerald kept his eyes fixed on the path ahead. The isolation of the wilderness now weighed heavily on him. The vocalizations continued, but they never grew closer. The unseen figures seemed content to let him leave, their presence a reminder of the vast, untamed wilderness he was traversing. By the time Gerald reached his car, the forest was silent once more. The experience, though brief, etched itself into his memory. The creature he had seen, its sheer presence and the eerie calls that followed, were unlike anything he had encountered before. Decades later, the image of that shaggy figure and the haunting sounds of the forest still lingered, raising more questions than answers.